daily trading review for Friday, the 21st of January, 2022. Another day of just questioning myself and just what I'm trying to do and achieve here. I was taking lots of naps today. I can tell you that for sure. Just forcing myself to get away from the screen and dealing a little bit in that FOMO-ishness and just there's always going to be opportunity to make money. But in these types of markets and these days specifically where it's just like two tickers that popped up on my scanner in the morning in the pre-markets for any amount of movement, and they're just like moving weirdly. I'll just pull them up quick. I didn't really want to go over them, but just of insanity of this BSFC on really news catalyst that I found, and then just kind of weirdness in pre-market for price action. You can see the little VWAP attempts here to push through there for the little wedginess, but and sell off after that. It's just like not ideal in SVDV, whatever this one was, the other one. Chris had a nice little dip and rip style again on this style of trade that ended up going into a halt, but then dumping right after that. And just weird little pre-market action of, gosh, yeah, I can't even say to myself that I would be getting short into this little spike here, even though it did have an amazing little pull-off after that VWAP breakthrough attempt. I mean, those were the only two, and it just, I don't know if it's I want to be frustrated or to force myself to get away from the markets more, or to continue to push harder on, okay, exploration time, experimentation time of let's fool around even if we have to do paper side or just super small size with options. Let's start playing the market now. Obviously, there's lots of opportunity on the downside here with SPY, another close to 2% day in the red. Huge volume coming into today with lots of contracts, options, and futures expiring. 2-day end of the week here. I ended up playing a little. I think this was a little bleeding in from that little FOMO of everybody else in their gram was making money on Netflix, on SPY, on the overall market, on whatever. I did play a little, call it a dip buy after it was selling off pretty hard in the afternoon session here, buying 440 calls in this little region here, and then selling into that just as it topped above 440 there for the $60, whatever that was I made on that little trade. And lucking out on that, I could say that the tick reading into that was kind of bottoming around that $1,000 sell-off mark around that time frame for wherever that was around that point of. So it was kind of exhausted on the selling pressure side. Could use that as a little bit of an indicator, but really not based on anything more than that of just trying to pick a trade, and it totally could have gone against me. And I would have had to pay the price for just this stupid little boneheaded of kind of getting bored in front of the keyboard and trying to push buttons, and lucked out with it, and I'll take the money and run away. I was kind of gambling for that trade, but gosh, yeah, I just don't really know what else to say. My mind is kind of scattered with what to feel and where to go from here with the opportunities that are presented. I see some good pathways that I definitely want to step more into for the next few trading days, we'll call it even weeks, even if the pattern continues to present itself that I mentioned on APM and LAZR. But other than that, Bitcoin is taking a tumble as well along with this market. It's just kind of hectic haywireness as of right now, but that's perfect time to buy. I'm scooping up as much as I can and playing the long-term game, keeping that perspective in mind always and forever, and just playing the opportunity as it's there. So cut to the chase. Let's get to market internals first before we get to some tickers. NASDAQ, $309 billion volume on the day. Pretty nice for this Friday. Nicey, $420 billion volume on the day. OTC's $2.9 billion volume on the day. Let's get into APM. I wanted to mention first, going into, I mentioned it a little bit yesterday. I thought I would do this type of strategy, and sure enough, awesome little opportunity on this one today of these overnight, first screen day overnight plays that really just don't produce any after-hours pre-market volatility or volume demand to push these things any higher. And this one was a nice little representation of, I'm saving myself a day trade as I'm still using a margin account and still locking in a 10% trade with my first cover, taking it from 162-ish area, covering around 144, just clearing. My mentality was with this paper trade that I was using was, okay, I want to clear some of this out. I'm in 10% profit before market open. I'll clear myself out of the way and just leave a few on to see if we do get any more downside. And then just stepped out of the way of this move as volume was coming in and pushing closer to a new high of day, and just really wasn't going more. I was giving it enough leash that it should have needed in order to progress further down below VWAP than what it should have had it worked. Did I word that correctly? But yeah, cut it when I saw the need to cut it there, but still locking in and nice little paper trade and experience on that one. So I think I'm now convicted for the times I've been doing this, of tracking it just first off and now actually playing these style of trades. I think I'm definitely willing to take that stab on these ones. More so, not necessarily, I don't see any really that I like even today, but not really over the weekend, but between weekdays of playing trades like that. I could grade myself an A idea for what the chart ended up doing of what I thought it was going to do from that previous trading day close, and C grade for execution of kind of average and not really forcing anything more, or like absolutely nailing it, but not really going crazy terrible either, just kind of average execution wise there. I'll get into LAZR as well. Similar type of thing, but more sell off on this one compared to APAM, and obviously looking in hindsight, it would have been far more appealing of a trade to be taking this thing short, as it's just flirting with the VWAP here after it pulled all the way back from that huge high, establishing a short position there and then carrying this thing short overnight into the upcoming day today. But even still, a beautiful opportunity. It's closing 11% in the red at the end of the day here, so meaning that, gosh, even holding a position from the open, definitely a lot, and expecting a lot out of this move to the downside if I'm just getting straight out of the gate after the morning bell. But gosh, yeah, the pattern was certainly there. The sentiment for the chart was death and bleeding, and being able to hold through good experience again of dipping out of the gate, but then attempting to have a little dip and rip, a little squeeze, a little buying covering, pushing above VWAP there, and was getting very ready to push the trigger against this thing just for how close it was to my initial position, paper position, of course. Should this thing have started to spike against me, get closer to that $15 level range, showing that, okay, this is doing something different than what I thought it was going to do. Let's cut the trade and open our perspective again to what's actually happening. But sure enough, it did reject there. So covered a little bit into 14.5, which was like a 30 cent. I'm holding myself accountable to like 14.9-ish, 14.8-ish something there. So 30, 40 cents, just covering into that 14.5 as a, okay, hey, it's, I don't expect this one to have a full 10% move like it ended up doing at the end of the day, but just taking safe profits as they're there, just locking some in as of now. But sure enough, it did have another little VWAP rejection, pulled all the way down to 14, where I did take off the rest of that paper position, and then just it folded around, had more VWAP rejections, and continued to trend lower there. Yeah, for the idea grade, I can give myself a B, where I certainly did something different than what I thought it was going to do, but definitely offered the opportunity that I was expecting, the same side that I was on for this one. And yeah, C grade for the execution of shoulda, coulda, woulda been holding more, sizing in more at these significant rejections of VWAP and attempts to break through with volume that ended up getting slammed back down on that trade. But yeah, just it's hard for me to even like go into. I don't even really want to go into fundamentals in the pre-markets and all my hard scannings and researches of these tickers, because it's just like the setups aren't those awesome, beautiful grades, but it's, I still do it because it is that ritual of putting in the time and getting those reps in. But yeah, it's just like, okay, am I actually wasting time by spending more time on these kind of crappier setups? Should I just be watching replays of old past tickers, of old past daily trading recaps of myself, or what I was looking at? And gosh, it's just continual adaptation and evolution of myself as a trader and how these markets are moving, and understanding that, okay, am I here to make money today, or am I here to continue to structure myself and my mindset for the trade tomorrow, in quotations. So just continuing to have that discussion and talk with myself of what's my focus and goal today, because without a target, where am I going in the first place? Gotta mention DWAC, of course. Last but certainly not the least, closed my long position here. I truly feel this chart ended up showing its full hand today. The volume certainly didn't show that it was the final panicking day of this up move, but it's nothing ever completely dies. But after today, holding through that hard red day on that was Wednesday, had a little bit of a bounce off of that $78 level. Knew we were going to need some strength in order to get any squeeziness, and it being a Friday, I knew there was going to be a lot of shorts potentially wanting to hop in on this one, and I'm just telling that to myself too. Ooh, this would be, as a short, I could just so feel myself ready to jump in on this and play the downside there, which could potentially stockpile everybody up and get us to places very rapidly if anything started to go sour for those short sellers. but did not. It just continued to ride that little wave down lower and lower. And as it was breaking that previous $78 level, just continuing to skip through some prices, I said, okay, it's not really looking great. And I think this trade, I've given it enough time to do what it wants to do. I've gotten the educational experience out of this one share little trade. So taking it from 57 to 77 is not too bad of a trade whatsoever. And yeah, like I mentioned in the past daily trading recaps, I know if I had a larger position size, I'd be scaling out along the way. I knew I'd be definitely taking out into that $90 level that happened on Tuesday to Wednesday point there. But this was just I know I would have still had a lottery ticket position size left on, just whatever few remaining shares or size that I would be holding through that hard red day until this trade like today was what I felt was, gosh, okay, the sentiment for any continuing parabolic move is pretty much over. So it could absolutely 100% reverse that theory and just spike hard back to 80 the next trading day, Monday, go to 90, back to 100. We could see 170 could be in store again for all we care, for all we know. But gosh, yeah, for just trading in reality and logic, I don't want to trade on logic whatsoever. But yeah, this it was just certainly over for me at that point. And then I actually got short paper off of that dip bounce as it was topping at that $78 level again. Played to a little nice downside, broke to a new low, but bounced pretty hard off of that again. Topped at 77, started to pull to try to attempt to create a new low of day, but bounced higher off of that. And again, gave that little short experimentation trade enough room and let it even spike above VWAP, which was kind of that little risk level point and that $78 level. But as it was just pushing with more strength, I cut that one as well. That it did end up being held for VWAP quite a good way for another hour after that. Faked out below VWAP, tried to reclaim again, but then ended up just being the rollover that now even sold off more into the close here today. Unfortunate to see for any parabolic craziness continuing off of old DWAC, but great learning experience on this one. In total, like I don't know what other best way to describe it. I've not had one like this in a long time. Where of course I've been watching, and I was watching the GameStop and the AMC, but being able to have that actual hand in the arena, hand in the fire, of going through the emotion of that hard red day and saying, okay, I still, that's a hard red day to sit through. Of I'm losing so much money, but I knew this trade was not about money whatsoever. It's about building the fundamentals for what I know the position sizes and the actual trades I'm going to be taking in the future on these ones, and understanding, well, okay, yeah, it's selling off pretty hard, but I don't feel this is the end of the trade as of right now. And giving it room to breathe, allowing it to go, and sitting from such a position of power that I really had the opportunity to do that and keep an open perspective on this chart as it was doing those things. So that is all I had. Just an interesting end to the week here. I'll always take the little P&L profits and, yeah, covering in with that $20, whatever I made on that one, to round out the day's total P&L wise as well. But that is all I had. Nothing hard convicted for me on the scanners that's popping up now either. It's just going to be an interesting continuation, adaptation, lots of options of what to be doing, of experimentation. That's another one. Add to it. Yeah, I'm tired of talking. I'm going to go take a nap. I sincerely thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys on the next one.